You have spoken out against DOGE efforts. Tell me why.
Well, I think, first of all, DOGE is a prime example of why we need DEI. When you have a group of people who are mostly from one sector, which is the technology sector, these are all cronies of Elon Musk, and they're almost entirely white young males. They do not have the capacity to make the decision for 330 something million people what has value and what doesn't. And so they are taking, like Elon Musk literally had a chainsaw on stage yesterday, a chainsaw to the government without any regard for the fact that maybe the things that aren't important to them have value to other communities.
Now, there are a lot of people that believe that there is a lot of waste in the government and that there's a lot of abuse of taxpayer money, and that it needs to be audited, it needs to be looked at, and it needs to be cut. So what do you say to them?
That was already happening. I think that having this discussion, framing it around the notion that there is widespread waste and fraud in our government is actually playing to the Republicans' benefit. We should be having a discussion about how our taxpayer dollars are an investment, not just in our federal workforce, but in our economy and our society. So all of this stuff being framed as though the default is waste and fraud is really doing a disservice not only to the people who are patriotic servants of this country, but to our society, because now things are being stripped away that we really do need and people have taken for granted.
If Trump and Leon Musk are finding all this fraud money, why can't they find enough money that they don't have to raise the deficit?
Well, he makes a good point. A lot of the money that they're claiming to find is just them not understanding what the systems are. Elon Musk claiming that 150-year-olds are getting Social Security is absurd. He just doesn't understand coding. He claimed that $8 billion was saved when it was really $8 million. And so a lot of what they're doing is really just marketing as opposed to governing. And that's why they're trying to push for a debt ceiling increase in this new Republican bill. Let's talk about Project 2025. I haven't mentioned that yet. What they talked about and what Steve Bannon has talked about for years is deconstructing the administrative state. And so part of the point of all of this willy-nilly stuff is the chaos that it creates. It's about the new OMB director, Russell Vought, said that they want to traumatize federal workers. And so they're haphazardly doing things because they don't really care about a functioning executive branch. To the extent that it doesn't function, they hope that the American people will continue to turn against it. But it's really starting to backfire because they are hitting so many communities and so many populations that did not expect to be impacted by it and who were actually formerly, and in some cases still, Trump supporters, like I mentioned earlier, the farmers. And so this is part of the point. The chaos, the cruelty is part of the point, and it's incumbent upon us as the American people to push back.